Okay, shall we start?
Yeah, Rajan, I think we can proceed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, one and all. I welcome you all for the virtual webinar, Prototyping and Product Development, organized by Puducherry Technological University, the Department of MBA students and faculties. Now, I would like to call Mr. Shivachidambaram, student of MBA IEV, to give welcome speech for the event. Shiva, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Now. Good morning to one and all. I wholeheartedly welcome our eminent faculties Dr. R. Sundaramurthy, Executive Director AIC PECF, Dr. N. Sivakumar, Program Coordinator of MBA, Dr. B. Hemakumar, Convener of IIC, and I warmly welcome our MBA faculties and my dear friends who are here to attend this webinar session. Yeah. Katyana, next table.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now I call upon Ms. Saraswati, student of MBA IEV, to deliver the guest intro.
It's my privilege to welcome the resource person of the session, Mr. Madan Kumar. He is an electronic engineer, has a 4 years industry experience in the field of unmanned aerial vehicles. He has a experience in design, prototype and manufacturing commercial grade UAV, which are being operated by various state police force in India and many other government departments in Tamil Nadu. At present, he serves as a design engineer in Atal Incubation Center, Pondicherry Engineering College Foundation. He is prioritized in setting up an additive manufacturing lab in AIC PECF and base level ecosystem for the early stage startups in UAV domain. Thank you.
Thank you, Saraswati. Now I call upon our speaker, Mr. Madan Kumar, to take over the session.
Thank you, Karthikeyan. Thank you, Karthikeyan, for an introduction. Good morning to all. Give me a second, I'll just share my screen. Can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, thank you. At first, I'd like to welcome you all for this presentation. As I see the participation list, I assume that most of the attendees today are students or future entrepreneurs who are having an idea to create their own venture. I hope this presentation will help you to have a draft idea how to create a new product in your venture and how the prototype plays a vital role in a new product development. Before I move into this presentation, I'd like to start with a question. Why do we need to do a prototype development process? What is the result we attain after doing a prototype development process? Any answer?
To validate our ideas.
Yeah. Any other answer? Why do you want to do a prototype? What is the result after we get after developing a prototype? Okay, we get a minimum viable product, which is a base product before a final product. After completing a prototype development process, we'll get a minimum viable product. Now tell me, what is a product? Product is something that offered into a market to satisfy the desire or need of a customer. It can be an item or it can be a service. It can be in a physical form or in a virtual form, sometimes in a cyber form. For example, now we are using a Google Meet, which is a virtual product. We are using it to conduct online meetings. On the other hand, we are using our personal computers or mobile devices, which is a physical product we are using to attend those virtual meetings. And based on the end users and customers, the products are further classified into B2B and B2C. Anyone knows what is B2B and B2C?
Business to business.
Business to business and business to consumer.
Business to consumer.
Yeah, that is. What is an example for a B2B product? An example for
B2B product, it's when maybe one electrical supplying company in the country sells electricity to another company in the same country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then B2C, it's when this electrical company also sells electricity to an individual consumer or to a household.
Yeah, thank you. Nice. If you take a mobile phone, a Samsung company manufactures a mobile phone, it sells its product to the consumer directly. It is known as B2C products. For example, a Qualcomm, which is a chip manufacturer who sells those chips to the Samsung mobile company. It is known as B2B products. An entity offers products to the other business entity. It is known as B2 business to business products. Now tell me, what are the qualities that we expect from the product when you are going to spend money on it? What are the basic qualities that we expect from the product? Anyone? What is the basic qualities when you're going to spend money on it, a certain product? Okay. Yeah, tell me, anyone? Okay. A basic quality, what we expect from the product is, it is able to do that work what is specified to do. For example, if you take a washing machine, a product, which is should do the, it should wash the clothes. It is the work that assigned to it. Any other? It should be efficient. Second qualities we should look on it is, it should be efficient. A washing machine should be able to wash the clothes without damaging the clothes. This is what work is, do it in an efficient way. Then we'll be looking into an aesthetic finish, how the product is built, what is the design they have done, and what is the color a product has. And finally, it should be durable. What we expect from the home appliances, it should be durable for minimum 5 to 7 years. So this is what we expect. A product should be durable and it should be safe. It should not raise any potential hazard to the end users. These are the qualities, minimum qualities what we expect from the product when you're going to spend money on it. Now tell me, how will we implement, as a developer, how will we implement this quality into the product in which we are going to develop? That's why new product development process comes into an action. What is a new product development? New product development is a process which converts our idea into a viable product. It often revolves around a customer need, identifying an idea feasibility, understanding market opportunities, and finally launching a product that fit into the market. New product development not only implies to the new ventures, it also for the big entities who are already in the market going to launch a new product in their lineup. For example, if you take Mahindra recently launched an XUV 700 car, which is a new product, but they have launched in an older lineup since they have a XUV 700 and XUV 300 in their lineup. Other than launching a new product into a new sector. For example, you all know Ola, which is a taxi booking app. which is recently launched an EV bike, which is completely a new product from their previous product. So who are developing a new product will be going through the new product development process. Why do we need a new product development process? Since when in general, when we are developing a new product, a new service, there will be a lot of uncertainty. Like there will be a lot of questions, whether the product will be well received in the market, whether the product can able to deliver or able to solve the problem that faced by the customers, or whether the customers are happy to buy the product at a certain price. So there will be a lot of uncertainty. By following the structured stages in a new product development, we could have some clarity and confidence in what we are building. So let's see what are the stages that involved in a new product development. It is a simple workflow that the new product development process consists. It always starts with an idea, where the idea is generated from the customer needs. We'll generate an idea from the customer needs. Once the idea is generated, we'll be moving into a screening stage. Here we'll be looking for the studying the feasibility of our idea. Like who are our early customers, whether the idea can be turned into a successful product, what is the market opportunities, and who are the competitors in the market. So we will be going through the feasibility study here. Later, once we proven that the idea is good, we'll be moving into create a concept, designing stage. And this concept, we'll be developing a series of sketches, and we'll be developing a 3D modeling for our product. It can be either a software kind of product, or it can be a physical product. We'll be developing a sketching for our product. Later, we'll be branding our idea. Either we are starting our own entity, or we are trademarking our idea. Here we'll patent our idea, which is novelty, or upgrading process, which our novelty idea in our process. Later, we'll be showcasing it to the investors for a fundraising in order to develop a product. Here we'll be going through the prototype process. A prototype process for making a product here, real product. A prototype process go through the several phases, in which it will have a lot of iterations, and finally we will come into a pilot stage. A pilot stage is the last stage before launching into a market. In this phase, we will be testing all the necessary tests it will be done, all the certification we need to get before launching into the product. And finally, once it is done, once the marketing strategy is done, how the distribution are going to be made, and what is the marketing profit percentage we would have from the product when you are going to sell it. So once it is done, we'll be all ready to send the product, launch the product in the market. So this is the basic workflow that involved in a new product development process. Let's break down each stage in detail. Now, first step that involved in a new product development is always a idea generation. Ideas are always root for a new product development process. There are a lot of ways in this process. We'll be developing a pool of ideas from the both internal and external factors by following certain techniques. If you take a bigger entity who are already in a market, they are having a separate R&D unit and a distribution network. By their R&D unit, they will be continuously having a study of market analysis and having a market report based on the report submitted by their distribution network. Distribution network will be closely working with the customers. They get to know their need, requirements, and the feedbacks of their earlier products, and what is the trends that been in a community. So once the report has been given by the distributor network, the R&D unit will have a internal discussion or a brainstorming sessions to generate a pool of idea how to satisfy the customer. As it comes to startups, mainly the ideas are generated by the startup founder when they are observing a problem. For example, when an inventor is seeing physically challenged people is facing problem in day-to-day use, so it comes with an idea how to solve the problem. Then most of the ideas are often generated by the startup founders from their previous work experience. When they're working in a previous company, they come to see a market gap in that field, but their company or the competitors are not making any steps to capitalize that market. So here comes the idea to capitalize that market. And several ideas are generated from the founder's area of interest or hobbies. Later, some ideas are generated from the product which is successful in one geographic area. So we are have an idea to clone that product into our region, or else we will generate an ideas when we are facing a personal problem. When we get to know this personal problem is faced by the vast amount of people in the market, so we came with an idea to solve that problem. So these are the some ways of the ideas being generated to solve the problem. Once we have a large number of ideas, we'll be moving into an idea screening stage. In this stage, we'll be evaluating an idea, whether the idea can be converted into a product or it can be discarded. There will be a lot of factors involved in evaluating our idea. This step acts as a filter to eliminate the most important errors, which is a drop error and a go error. Because of these errors, 17% as a report, 17% of startups fail to develop their new product. See, what is this error? Drop error means dropping a good idea. Go error means moving forward with a bad idea. How this screening stage will evaluate an idea? There are several factors like compatibility. We'll check whether the idea is having compatibility with our business objective. What are the risks that involved in creating our idea into a product, and who are our customers? What is our market opportunity, and how much we can able to capitalize, and who are our competitors, and what are the products made by the competitors, and what is the value that our product give to the customers, and what is the value that the product give to our business objective. What are the resources we need? What are the constraints that included in developing this idea into a product? So these are different factors our idea need to answer. Once the idea answers these questions, we could consider as a good idea. Whether the idea has failed to answer any of these questions, we will again to work into a different idea. We again need to solve a problem. When after completing, after we have a successful idea, we'll be moving into one concept development. In this stage, whereas idea is a mental construct or a business opportunities, whereas concept is a presentable version of our idea. We can able to develop multiple concepts for a single idea. In this concept development, sketching and 3D modeling is involved. Sketching is the most important stage and is the first stage in our product development. It helps the founders to express their views, ideas, and thoughts. It helps the team member to develop a product, to develop multiple possibilities of a product idea. For example, if you say, I am going to develop an hexacopter drone, which is having 6 rotors, what are the possibility for a product idea we can have? For example, I can able to develop a hexacopter like this, or else I can able to develop an hexacopter like this, or else I can even develop an hexacopter like this. So we can have a multiple number of possibilities for a single product idea. Once we have read advantages and disadvantages of each possibilities, we can able to eliminate, or we can able to extract those concepts, and we can able to read advantages, disadvantages of each possibilities after without moving with a particular concept. Once the concept has been decided, we'll be developing a series of sketches in both 2D as well as 3D. Once we have developed a 2D sketching of our product idea, we'll be moving into a 3D modeling using a different CAD softwares that are available in our market. It's up to the design engineers, it's up to their preference, what are the software they're going to use. 3D modeling will help us to iterate our design which are developed in a sketching. It resembles in dimensions and finish of our product quality without we moving into one real development of a product. Once we are okay with our design, once we are okay with our sketching and the design of our product idea, we will moving into develop a prototype, which is the most important stage in a product development cycle. Can you tell me, anyone can tell me what is a prototype? Anyone? Okay.
Prototype is a sample model, sir, for that design.
Okay. A prototype is something that we developed earlier to test our concept. It is a tactical mock-up for our final product design. It is often used to evaluate our new design ideas. It goes through multiple iterations. At each iteration, we'll have some refinement and optimization in order to reduce the risk that involved in our final product design. Prototypes are made according to their aspects or according to their functionalities. For example, if we want to test a core functionality, we'll making a concept prototype to test that concept. For example, we are showcasing it to the consumers, or we are going to raise fund from the investors. We are going to showcase how the real product is going to be. Then we are going to develop a display prototype or appearance prototype. And finally, production prototype is developed, which is the last stage before we are moving into a mass production. This stage will have a complete resemblance to the final product in both functionality as well as appearance. So in this prototype, we'll be able to validate all the testers, all the failure case analysis, and all the certification we'll be getting at this prototype level. Before going into one different phases that involved in a prototype development cycle, I like to introduce what are the technologies that are used in a prototype development. Due to rapid increase in applications of rapid prototyping technologies, the conventional method of developing prototyping has been completely eliminated. What are the different types of rapid prototyping technologies involved in prototyping development are? First is an additive manufacturing technology, which is a 3D printing technology. Later, another one is subtractive manufacturing technology and clay modeling. Clay modeling is a very early prototype developing model where it is mostly often used in automotive industries to develop their prototype. What are the benefits that the additive manufacturing technology gives over the traditional form of developing a prototype? When we are developing a prototype with a conventional model, we need to develop molds for a particular design or patterns, which could be expensive, even it starts from the 5 digits. Once we have developed molds and patterns for our prototype, when we are developing a prototype from this conventional method, if any failure raised in between testing our prototype, we need to again design a new mold and new pattern, which is an expensive and lot of time consuming. That's why additive manufacturing technology came into an action. You can able to test and iterate at a limited time. We can able to bring product to reality at a shorter period of time at in an inexpensive manner. What is an additive manufacturing technology? Additive manufacturing technology is simply known as 3D printing technology. In this, we will create an object by adding a layer by layer, by melting a material layer by layer. you can see a GIF in the 3D printing is printing an object. You can see a succeeding layer is bonded to the preceding layer. Once the layer is cooled or cured, it will bond to form a 3D printed object. This is how 3D printing technology works. What are the 3D printing technology that are available in the market? These 5 are the most widely used 3D printing technology. First one in this list is FDM, which is known as fused deposition molding, or sometimes known as FFF, fused filament fabrication. This is an inexpensive kind of 3D printers. There is a lot of do-it-yourself 3D printers which use a base material as a wires or a melting form of spool holders. And we will be inserting this spool into the feeder, which is having a hot end, which will be heated to certain temperature in order to melt that wires to form a 3D printing object. What are the other types of? What are the other technologies that involved in 3D printing? 3D printers or next one is stereolithography, which is known as SLA, and direct light processing, which is known as DLP. In these printers, base materials are used resins. Here the curing process is done by a these are the different kinds of 3D printing technology. First, we have started with a few FDM printers, which is a less expensive 3D printing technology, which is used widely. It prints an object by melting a layer by layer. It consists of a feeder. It consists of a white-shaped materials, which is to be melted to form a 3D printed object. Then the second thing in this list is a SLA kind of printers, which use base material as a resin. Both SLA and DLP use a base material as a resin. In stereolithography, the technology which is used to cure the resin is a laser, whereas in DLP it is a light. It is also cure the resin by layer. And the fourth one in this list is a selective laser sintering. In this technology, a base material is a powder. Where here also a curing technology is a laser, which cures the powder layer by layer. And the last one is a metal printing, which is often used by the automobile industries in order to create a prototype for their new products. How 3D printing technology works? Once we have done 3D modeling in our CAD software, we can able to extract a printable format, that is STL and OBJ format. Once we take this format out, we'll be feeding into one slicing software, which will coming along with the 3D printers. When it is a low-cost 3D printer, slicing software are available in the market. When it comes to the industrial grade 3D printers, they'll be providing us physics slicing software. After feeding this STL file into the slicing software, and we'll be setting a necessary parameters like what kind of filament we are going to use. For example, different kind of materials are clearly ABS, ASP, PETG. There are vast materials available in the market. It depends upon the applications where we are going to use. For example, if you are going to use in an indoor, we can go with an PLA, which is melted at a temperature of 200 degrees Celsius. So these are the settings parameters will be giving in a slicing software. This slicing software converts an STL file into one G-code, which is in the machine language. After getting the G-code file, we will be getting the G-code file into 3D printers. We can able to feed through the SD cards or we can able to send it through the Wi-Fi or other LAN technology. Once it is fitted, it will convert the G-code into 3D printed object. This is the basic technology using the 3D printer. Now, what is an subtractive manufacturing technology? This is also widely used for rapid prototyping. This is completely opposite to the additive manufacturing technology. Here, the parts are removed from an object to create another one, which are involved in manufacturing technology.
Yeah, microphone.
The machines which are involved in subtractive manufacturing technology are CNC machines, which there are different types of CNC machines like turning machines, routing machines, and milling machines. And later 3D like EDM machines, laser cuttings, and water jet cutting machines. And this is a basic example how we developed a prototype with the subtractive manufacturing technology. On the right hand side, you could see an epoxy plate. Using CNC routing machine, we are given a DXF file of our 2D design. You can able to cut our respected shape. Once it is cutted, we can able to assemble into one prototype product. Next thing, it is the first phase that involved in a prototype development process. Prototype development process is often known as a proof of concept phase or developing a minimum viable product phase. For better understanding, we just split up into 3 phases like alpha, beta, and pilot phase. Alpha phase is the first iteration that we develop and prototype in a prototype development process. We are concerned about 2 questions. How the product work and how the product will look and feel. These are the 2 questions that this alpha phase is going to answer. And this is an example for a prototype that being developed in a alpha phase. In alpha phase, for a question, will the product work? We'll be developing a proof of concept prototype. In this prototype, we will be testing the core functionalities or the novelty ideas, what we have uniqueness in our product. We don't need to spend too much of money or time in this prototype. It is we can develop anything, what are the materials that are available in the market, and we can able to develop it in off-the-shelf materials. In this prototype, we'll only going to test our core functionality. If suppose I say I am going to develop an hexacopter drone, which is having a serious advantage over the quadcopter, which I shown in the picture. In a quadcopter, if a single motor fails, it is going to crash on the ground. I say in a hexacopter, it have 2 more motors, so that if one motor fails, even with the 5 motors, it can able to fly stably in the air, and we can able to land it safely. This is a unique advantage I give over the other drone in the market. So I'm going to test that hexacopter drone with a failure of 1 motor, so that I don't need to have a customized PCB or customized hardware which is specifically designed for the product. I will go with the product which are readily available in the market in order to test that core functionality. Whereas once we are satisfied with our proof of concept, when we are tested or when we are satisfied what we have developed, the core functionalities will be moving into an appearance prototype. Appearance prototype is an answer for how the product will look and feel. In this stage, we'll be using additive manufacturing technologies or rapid prototyping technologies to develop a product, how it actually looks. In this stage, it usually resembles the final product, but it doesn't have any functionality or it doesn't have any working features. It is just to see how the product will come as an output. Once we are happy with that, these 2 prototypes, we have been completing the alpha phase. Alpha phase is an answer to the 2 questions, whether the product will work and how this product going to be look and feel. Once we are happy with these prototypes, we'll be moving into one. And here this is another prototype what we have developed by one of the startups in our incubation center. You can see in the left hand side, which is a readily available foam model which is on the market. Once they have bought this one, and they have tested their core functionality, whether it is like their flight control algorithm, whether it is working properly. After this, their proof of concept in the right hand side, how their final product is really going to be. This product is totally printed with the 3D printers. And here is the video of the prototype is being tested. Since you could see we're testing the core functionalities of a proof of concept prototype. And once we are happy with the alpha phase, we'll be moving into a second stage of a prototype development process, which is known as beta phase. Once we are into a beta, here everything is fully formed. You have a prototype, which is all functionality have been tested, and you have a product which a full resemblance to the final product. In this stage will be this stage is a one step towards the final product. In this stage, you will be testing a final test which are made into one. We'll be developing a custom printed boards which is specifically made for this product, and we'll be choosing specifically hardware for a product what we are developing. Once we have been developed a custom PCB boards or custom hardwares, we have put into a test at a real world environment in order to test whether the desired quality is achieved or the desired work has been product is doing. So these are the tests, and these are the improvement we do from the alpha phase to the beta phase. Once we are happy, once we have developed testers, once we are happy with the result, what the custom built PCBs or custom built hardwares are made, we'll be moving into a production stage. This is one of the product, which is what we have seen earlier. Once you could see there is a board. Here we have developed a custom boards for this motor, for this product, and let it be tested in a closed premises or within our company or within an entity. It is not showcased to any of the consumers. It is being developed within our entity to test whether everything is working properly. And once we are developed, we are happy with the beta phase. Since beta phase is a near resemblance of our final product, we'll be moving into a production. What are the few things that we need to consider before moving into the production? Try to hire. Once we have developed a beta phase, we'll be needing a lot of investment to move into commercialization. So once we have developed a beta phase, we'll be showcasing it to the customers, and we'll be showcasing it to the investors for fundraising for the commercialization. And we will be patenting our design, whole design, in order to secure our product. Once we are been happy with the beta phase, we will be, once we have acquired a successful investments, we will be hiring a technological team to move our beta phase or move our prototype into a production phase. Or we can able to have a mentor who are having an experience in both manufacturing and quality audits. At this stage, we'll be reaching out to the contract manufacturers who are appropriate for our business. How will we choose the contract manufacturers? A contract manufacturers should give preference to the startup. Since as a startups, we can't able to initially give a large amount of order. So once we are going for a large contract manufacturer, still they consider as a customer, they won't give us a preference as a startup since our manufacturing quantity is not up to their level. So we must choose a contract manufacturers who are giving a preference to the startups. And once we have choose our contract manufacturers, we'll have to make ready with what are the design mechanical drawings and assembly sequence and assembly drawings. Once we have moving into a contract manufacturer. And finally, once all is set ready, we'll do a pre-production process like creating a minimum number of products in order to test, in order to ensure the qualities, desired qualities achieved. These are the few points we need to consider before moving into a prototyping to production. Once we have done a small batch of production, we'll be moving into a pilot phase. This pilot phase is even called as a prototype, since because it is not launched into a market. We'll be doing a final test and we'll doing a failure analysis. What are the cause? What are what are the way the product can able to fail, and based on this analysis, we can able to give support once the product is launched into a market. Here, all the custom developed PCBs or the customized electronics are same, but only the manufacturing process is different. Since in a prototype, we'll be using a rapid prototyping technologies, whereas in this pilot phase, the prototypes are being developed with the conventional development process like injection molding or die casting. Once it is developed, it is made into a testing for an early adopters, where we can get a valuable feedback in order to improve any changes in a product. And once we have get a valuable feedbacks, once everything is set ready, and after that, if a product is need to be get any certification, for example, medical devices or a drone kind of products. For drones, we need to get certification from the DGCA. For a medical product, there is a lot of certification procedure we need to go. For an electronic products or an radio frequency products, lot of certification we need to go with an WPC wing. So once the certifications are we got certification are done, it is commercially ready to deploy. These are the stages that involved in a product development phase. And I like to show you one of the case study how the startup built their product from the scratch to the production. This is one of the startup Flowgate Solution Private Limited, which is being incubated in our incubation center, developing a smart flow meters for the government and industries. What is the problem that made them to develop this product? Since there is an immediate requirement from the government, since a lot of industries are consuming water more than their approved limit, and there is a large market gap for this product, since there are large energy meters available in the market, but for water meters they are limitedly low. Since they find there is a large market gap for this product, they came with an idea to develop a water flow measurement meters. And they're checking through the idea feasibility. They have found that there is no nearly competitors in the market. One of the competitors have found that the products are outdated analog meters. What is their proposed solution is, they came with an idea to develop a digital meters with an IoT integrator. What is the unique value proposition that this product gives is that remote monitoring. We don't need to visit the industries to know how much the water they are really consumed, and it is really tampered proof, which cannot be misused. And they have developed a different kind of flow sensors, which can be fit into any different sizes, which used in different industries. So this is what the value proposition they give to the customers. And here is the product development cycle. In an alpha stage, they are developing a proof of concept prototype. You could see it's all about using a readily available Arduino boards and LCD displays and the flow sensors and IoT integrations in devices in order to check whether the core functionalities are working properly, whether the algorithm is working fine. So these are the testers done in a proof of concept prototype. Once proof of concept prototype is done, they are moving into an appearance prototype. Initially, they done with a sheet metal kind of design in order to house their custom built PCB. You could see here, which is being implemented in one of pipes within our premises in order to validate the product, how it is really working in a real case scenario. And third thing, and the second thing, this is beta phase. You could see in a proof of concept, there is a lot of wires and junks, breadboards, a lot of sensors being connected through wires. But for a beta phase, they have developed a customized PCB by eliminating the unnecessary items. On the right hand side, you could see custom developed sensors, two sensors which can be fitted into a different sizes of the tubes. On the right hand side, you could see the design optimization from the earlier prototype to this prototype. That's how this is a 3D printed prototype. You could see the difference after several iterations. After customized PCB made, we have made a design to appropriately the customer PCB fit into the product. Once we are happy with the working of the product, and once design is made very well made, we'll be moving into a pilot phase. In between, it will move into the production, where the 3D printed prototype is moved into a production kind of materials. Usually, a little batch process has been made and been installed in a 20 plus industries in around Puducherry for a pilot phase. Once it is approved by the government, and they are now into the validation. Once it is approved by the government as well as by the NIC, National Information Center, it will be pivoted to the other states and other industries in and around India. That's how I like to end my presentation here. That's how a product is being developed, and what are the stages that involved in a new product development cycle, and what are the technologies we can use for developing a prototype. And I end with a case study. Thank you. With this, I will end my presentation. Any doubts? Please go ahead.
Participants, you can post your questions in chat box.
Madan Kumar sir, it's a very informative session. A part of my syllabus, new product development. I'm very happy. Prototype, commercialization, everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I think there is no question in chat. Participants, if you have any questions, please post in the chat box.
Yeah, Vishnuvardhan Konda asked the question: how far will the material used in 3D printer which stand at that temperature? Can you come with a clear question? I can't able to understand what you are asking.
Sir, we are using the material in 3D printer as a for melting, and that will be poured in layer by layer.
Yes.
For bakelite material, for what technology we have to use like material?
Sorry?
Bakelite. Bakelite, sir. For electric goods, we have using bakelite materials.
Okay.
For that, the type of material, which type of 3D printing technology we have to use?
Yeah, most of the 3D printers are often used with an FDM. We can able to use different kind of materials. What kind of properties you need? Like for example, there are different types of materials available for FDM. There is also composite printers which can able to print some high strength parts. like carbon field or composite field, Kevlar field, so that we can able to use the FDM technology for it, for your use case.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions do we have? Please post the question in chat box. We may be having another 2 to 3 minutes for question and answer session. Madan sir, I think there is no more question.
Okay.
I would like to thank you, sir. The session is very informative, and we got a deep insight about the NPD, starting from the scratch, from product qualities, and then NPD stages, and then types of prototyping, and then prototype development phase like alpha phase and beta phase, and then pilot phase. And also you have given a case study which has beautifully demonstrated the prototyping method and the product development method very clearly. I hope everyone has enjoyed the session, and we thank you, sir. Now I call upon Ms. Karthika, student of MBA IEV, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, now. It's time to thank our resource person, Mr. Madan Kumar, for giving such an informative and interesting session. To add with our sincere thanks to Dr. R. Sundaramurthy, Executive Director, AIC PECOF, Dr. N. Sivakumar, Program Coordinator of MBA, Dr. B. Hemakumar, Convener of IIC, and Mr. Vishnuvardhan, Chief Executive Officer, AIC PECOF, for supporting us to conduct this event successfully. And our special thanks to our beloved MBA faculty, Dr. S. Jayakumar Sithanandam, Dr. Sundaramurthy Reddy, and Mr. Ramesh. Last but not least, I thank the participants for your energetic participation, and also I thank my coordinator team S. Karthikeyan, B. Saraswati, A. Siva, and Kavi for technical support to organizing this session successfully. Thank you.